Hello and good afternoon. This is Rich Coleman. I am here at the Prevention Corner with 2023 programming that we are going to be bringing to you. I am so excited about this year. We've got some great program that we're going to be offering, in addition to a number of great topics that we will be exploring with crime prevention, personal safety, all of the things that I have been involved with over the many years with providing programming here in our area. I want to give a shout out to one of the persons that inspired me and a group of staff at Ann Arbor's Public Access TV station. Lucianne Vizavati, who I've worked with, had been working with for the number of years with doing spots on her television, on her radio show, in addition to getting to know the things that she was involved with here in the community. And she was a big inspiration, not only for getting involved with moving from a 30-second soundbite that I've been involved with doing media for the television station, but also all of the efforts that we have been involved with getting information out in real time, as well as explaining and providing more information and resources to viewers and audiences alike. I would like to make sure that as we prepare for 2023, that these topics that we're going to be focusing on are relevant to all of us at all levels here in the community. We are going to be focusing on school safety resources. And as we have been in law enforcement and emergency services, been sharing nationwide, if you see something, say something. We want to make sure that we provide not only the training that we've been doing with our from our local law enforcement agencies and community service entities, but also how do we make sure that we use this information at home, in the community, at the stores, everywhere that we are? We always want to make sure that we keep that prevention hat on. And we're going to be focusing on a number of those topics that we can make relevant to what we do every day. Public safety and mental health services. Here in Washington County, we have a public safety millage, but this has become a national perspective, a national issue. And this perspective that we've done here in the county, we want to explore with our public health department, in addition to the other services that they are providing at all levels for the community. Health and wellness. We want to make sure that we provide all of the information that's available as we work our way through this pandemic, but also ongoing health issues of diabetes, heart disease, all of the things that we have been seeing and knowing that our family members and even individually that we're experiencing. We want to make sure that we get you the information from the healthcare providers as well as from a holistic perspective. What can you do and where can you find the resources to live healthy? Internet safety, social media, and its impact on youth, as well as we as adults. Social media has become a huge and significant part of everything that's going on with these devices that we're putting in our students and our children's hands. We want to make sure that not only do they understand the dynamic of what they're reading and getting reliable information, but also making sure that we provide a platform for education, for awareness, as well as respect for each other. EV, emergency vehicles, fire safety concerns around this new technology. The EVs are being marketed from all of the various automotive manufacturing entities, and we want to make sure that not only do we understand what they're offering with these new products, but also when they have recalls, and what is the impact of those recalls and the fires that we're seeing from lithium batteries. We'll also be exploring with our local sources, how do you dispose of the lithium batteries that we use in our home? We have a number of products now that all have these long extended life batteries. So we're going to be exploring how do we help make sure that we environmentally take care of disposing of them correctly. The National Safe Kids Coalition. And we're going to look at the hot topics on safety concerns, not only with car seats and how are they installed, but also the other types of things that we're seeing on the recall list, the cribs, anything that is connected to children's safety that they are providing resources on. In our Huron Valley National Safe Kids Coalition here, we're going to be reaching out to them to find out the workshops that they're offering, resources that are provided, and how we can make sure our community groups and faith communities know how to reach them as they work to provide this information. And there's so much more. We have just a plethora of topics that we're going to be focusing on, and we want to make sure that we provide all of those during this conversation that we're going to be having with these entities during 2023. Many of you know that I'm also a musician. And as a local recording artist and indie, as we call it, indie artist with releasing and not signing a contract with a major recording company, it gives you a lot more freedom. And what we want to share is the groups that we've been working with and the success that we have had with marketing our products, as well as being a part of the professional organizations that help to protect your intellectual property. My songs are copywritten. Everything that we do is making sure that we're legally making sure that we protect what we do. And we're going to be talking about the resources from ASCAP, American for Society of Composers and Writers. BMI is another group. We're also going to be talking about NARIS, the National Arts and Recording Sciences group that really helps artists make sure that they're getting out on the platforms that are available. And then the American Federation of Musicians. I am a member of the Detroit chapter, Local 5, previously a member of Local 625 here in the Ann Arbor area. But we moving to the Detroit one gave me more access to some of the projects that I want to work on here in the near future that we're going to be sharing with you. But this is such an important topic because intellectual property, which is songs that are written, poems that are written, films that are made, it's so important to copyright your music and your films and your poems to make sure that they are yours. Because once you put them out there in the domain, anybody could use them, take from them, rewrite them, or package them to be their own. So you want to make sure that you protect yourself. And we're going to be sharing with everyone who's involved, particularly our young people who are involved with recording and doing some of these things in the entertainment industry. How do you protect yourself? But I also want to introduce you to some of my friends in the industry. James Bradley, who was from the Saginaw area, actually from Bay City, but he performed in the Saginaw area and all throughout mid-Michigan in several different show bands as a singer and a keyboard player. And our paths crossed when I was in college at Central Michigan, playing in a show band in the various nightclubs between Mount Pleasant, Lansing, East Lansing, Saginaw, Bay City, Flint. We all played in these nightclubs that had live music. Not much live music anymore, but this is something that I want to hear from James, not only after signing a recording contract with Malico Records and the touring that he did with the bands that he had, but also his mission, currently still recording, still performing, and what it has been like for him to be where he's at today. And living in New York, our paths have crossed with recently being in New York myself. When I reached out to him and told him that I wanted to get him on, he was excited about that because we've done work with the Edwin Hawkins gospel workshops in Saginaw that my sister was a big part of, and the Saginaw gospel entertainment entities that were involved. And it's something that James was very involved with as well in doing those performances. Also, a young man named Steve Trigg. Steve's mother, Marge, was a big part of the Coleman Temple Kojic Church Foundation, where my father was a pastor. Very instrumental in a number of entities with the departments there, but also her children were very involved in the music portion of the services. And Steve is one of my many drumming proteges. His great aunt, Geraldine Morgan, her husband, Eddie Morgan, is who introduced me to the drums when I was 6 years old. He cut the drumsticks for me and showed me how to hold them, how to do rudiments. And also he had a big bass drum that had Kansas City, Kansas written across it. And I was just mesmerized by what he could do as a big band drummer, but playing in a church service. And how he was able to not only explain and teach me the role of drumming, but also how important it was to learn to read music and to pay attention to everything around you. As a drummer, you're holding the foundation. That's what we did with Steve. Steve moved from drums to keyboards and has been doing tremendous work with producing a number of great tracks in addition to my theme song. Steve performed with me with my Prevention Entertainment Act here in our area, and just not only creating the music track, but also helping me to write a number of the original songs and the tracks that we laid down together. So I'm excited about talking with Steve about his career, the things that he's experienced now living in Houston, as well as an entertainment in those venues there. But Steve's got a great story, and I'm looking forward to having him share it with you. And last but not least, one of those many that we're going to talk about with a historical perspective. This is my aunt Christine Chapman. She was known as the Boogie Woogie Queen. This research started with my son Alex, who had a eye search project when he was in elementary school, and we decided to kind of, what can we do to find out about family? So we were able to find not only information about her, but that process with my wife Phyllis and my daughter Brittany also assisting for over 20 years. We continued this research about all of the music that she was involved with, as well as her career. This Blues and Rhythm International magazine, when I was able to get access to that, it was an eye-opener because it had tremendous information in it, but some of it wasn't correct. I had the opportunity to spend time with my aunt when I was touring and coming back from Florida to Michigan, to spend time with her, to talk about the music industry, talk about what it was like for me now, being a member of the American Federation of Musicians, and the challenges that she had as a band leader and the things that happened to her that was really discouraging. And we shared that in a follow-up article to this international magazine. My cousin Madeline Green and Anthony Chapman, my Aunt Chris's brother's son, one of his many sons, who helped me pull information together to clarify some of the misinformation about her career and her life in the first article. In the second article that we were featured in, we really were able to help clarify and provide information about her career and family. I have in my possession over 20 CDs that she's featured on from around the world. And for me, that's really exciting because I want to re-record 13 of those songs. And that's why I jumped to the Detroit Federation, where there's a lot of jazz musicians and musicians that who are in that venue there in Detroit, that we will be able to do that. So I'm really looking forward to sharing you with my cousins this story, as well as to play some of her music. So for me, this has been a labor of love. This whole music entity, things that we've been involved with the entertainment industry and traveling abroad. But here in Washtenaw County and in Southeast Michigan, we have such amazing live music venues and events that go on throughout the entire year. We have the Arc here in Ann Arbor. That's great live music. We have the Blue Llama Jazz Festival, a relatively new club and a dinner club that I'm looking forward to doing an interview with both of these two locations about the artists that are coming in, as well as the amazing entertainment, as well as food venue, particularly with Blue Llama. We also have the Johnny Lawrence Music Festival there in Ypsilanti. We did a show with Johnny last year, and we'll do it again this year with his 2023 lineup and the artists that he's bringing in. It was great to go down and hear some of the live entertainment there at the park in Ypsi Township. And we hope to get Johnny back on. So I know he's been working on, as soon as the one is done, he started right away with working on 2023. So we're looking forward to sharing with you what's coming up in the Johnny Lawrence Jazz Festival. We also have Top of the Park and the Art Fair. Those two are here in the city of Ann Arbor that has great entertainment and music venues that are just fantastic. Our two groups, the Ann Arbor 625, the group the union that I was a part of, is really a big part of the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra and supporting that group. And we're excited about helping to not only share with them, but we're going to reach out and have them on as well to talk about those shows and those programs. Excuse me. The Detroit Jazz Festival. How can we not talk about the International Jazz Festival in Detroit? Great venues, great music. We're going to have our AFM local president on to talk about how the union is involved, but also the great entertainment being provided there at the festival. University of Michigan's musical theater productions here in Ann Arbor, excuse me, also Black and Brown Theater, a new group here in Ann Arbor that's just been doing great community work. So we're looking forward to hearing from them. As I also I want to share with you that my love for cooking, with all of the touring and the entertainment that we were involved with. A number of our band members with the last touring group were vegetarians. And so it was an easy transition for me, and not only with the kind of music we were playing and what we called a human jukebox show, playing for 90 continuous minutes. So as a drummer, I had to make sure that not only was I was in shape, but moving to a poultry and fish only diet as far as protein for me just continued to expand throughout my entire life. And that's what we still do today. But with my wife Phyllis and my son and daughter, we have enjoyed exploring a number of recipes, and I like to get out and get on the grill. And Netflix has been a great supporter of and providing tips with information from various chefs all over the world. And we pull from those ideas. It's just something that, for me, has been absolutely fantastic, and we love to do that. Also, these local entities that we have been working with, as well as purchasing products from them, the local bakers as well as the restaurants. Bird Dog Baking. Bird Dog Baking has been, oh my goodness, we enjoy their products. They do make deliveries as you place the orders, and we have enjoyed their breads and their cereals that they make here locally. And we're going to share with you and doing an interview with them about their services, where they're located here in Ypsilanti. But also, I understand after the last delivery that the baker, she told me that her husband is also a musician. So I think there's a lot of things that we're going to have in common when we have that conversation. Also, Blitz Cannoli. WDIV, Channel 4 in Detroit, has a talk show that they do midday. And my wife, actually, these next two locations that they were talking about and sharing on their show, we were able to not only find them locally, but to also make the orders. Now, the cannolis that this young lady makes, they're her mother's recipe from Italy, and this is something that they are absolutely fantastic. For me, my wife's Phyllis is from Philadelphia, so we spent a lot of time in New Jersey and on the East Coast. And that's years ago I was introduced to cannolis. So this is the real deal. This is something that I'm excited about talking with her and sharing, having her share with you not only her products and the cannolis that she makes, but how she came about making this a big part of what she does. Mrs. Kim, the award-winning chef here in Ann Arbor, she's located in Carytown. And for me, as we ordered some of those sandwiches and entities going down to the restaurant the first time, I was just mesmerized by not only how good it all smelled and the spices and the cooking that was done, but the sandwiches were fantastic. And she's been doing some tremendous work with her recipes and the things that she's creating. So I'm hoping that we can get her on as well to talk about her role in being involved in the restaurant business. And she's connected to Zingerman's. Zingerman's is such a huge philanthropic organization. And we all know about Zingerman's specialty sandwiches, but they also have several other restaurants. And we applaud what Zingerman's Foundation has done here in the local area and abroad. They do tremendous work, and as well as have great quality food products that we all enjoy. Also, I have been really proud of my family members. And as I share with you the things that we have seen our family members involved with in the film business. And this is something for me that, as I share with you, I'm looking forward to conversations with these film producers and how they have gone about getting involved in this incredible, intense, competitive industry. And this particular format for us has been really exciting to see that my cousin Frank E. Jackson, He is the owner of Sanjata Films. He's based out of Washington, D.C., and he has been doing just amazing work with a number of productions. If you go to his website, you will be able to see as well as catch his films on UB. I think it's YouTube, UTUB, YouTube, UTUBI. I think that's it. I found his movies listed there, but just the great resources that he has done, and he's doing something really unique. He's been filming his productions with 4K cameras on our cell phones, and we realize that these devices are not just telephones anymore. But the films that he's creating have been phenomenal, and the quality of a 4K camera phone and what he's done, you would never know that it's not a $100,000 camera that he's using, but these are cell phones. So I'm excited about hearing what he is doing with his projects there. And for me also, one of the persons that I am really excited about talking about is my nephew, Stuart McClave. He is the son of Dr. Evelyn McClave and Dave McClave. Stu's parents introduced him to tennis at an early age, which is why it was exciting for him with all of his production work coming out of USC there in Los Angeles, that he was able to get the rights to do the documentary for Richard Williams, who is the father of Venus and Serena. This documentary is called On the Line, and you can go to the website and see the production, see the clips that are there. But this past summer, we were in New York at the Tribeca Film Festival that this was being introduced, and I was just fascinated with hearing the stories because we've seen the results with both daughters and their tremendous tennis careers. But you get to hear the backstory of all of the challenges that he went through as their father with learning, because he was very clear. I didn't know anything about tennis, but I knew I wanted my daughters to be successful in life, and I thought that this might be an avenue, and he did everything he could through all the obstacles to provide an avenue for his daughters to be successful. And this film, and it just recently has been picked up for international distribution, so I'm sure it'll be in one of our streaming services very soon. Really excited about talking with Stu about his behind the scenes efforts creating this documentary. My nephew Marvin Green and his wife Crystal made the ultimate leap to move to California and to Los Angeles. And twofold, he worked for the airlines at the time, and when they moved out there, they got involved in the movie and the entertainment industry. They've done a number of series shows in addition to the movies, and their production companies now called Green Motion Pictures. And I'm excited about talking with them because Crystal is also an author, and she's written several really good books. And it's something that their experiences, what they've gone through, how they've gone about doing it, and where they're at today with their entrepreneurial activities there in Los Angeles and being very successful. And we're really proud of them. This is my youngest sister, Edna Coleman. This is her son and daughter-in-law. So we're excited about, again, what they've been able to accomplish and how this has helped them in their careers. We also, most of you know that I'm also a musician. You've heard me sing. I've had the opportunity to sing the national anthem at a number of events throughout the area, in addition to performing with my band, the Washtenaw Knights. But we had the honor 2 years ago to represent the national law enforcement to sing the national anthem for the Detroit Tigers, and being down at home plate there at Tiger Stadium was quite an honor. And we have enjoyed not only performing and using the tools that we've been blessed with growing up with, but also to share what we've learned. And that's something that we've done with all of our entities, in addition to our family. As I've talked about families in the film business, and we also have family members in the entertainment and performing arenas. And I'm just going to open this up to share with you how excited I am and proud of my family members who are in the business. And this is just a few of them, because we've got a big family between the Colemans and Chapmans that are and family members literally all over the country. So I'm just kind of scratching at the surface now to give you a few of those that are really making some big splashes right now. My sister, Yvonne Lewis, she's based out of Flint, very active and very instrumental in all of her uh, activities that she's doing. Her daughter, N.D. Lewis, has her own internet radio station called thepurpleroseplanet.com. And her podcast, the jazz music and music that she's sharing on her show, she's currently, the last count that I saw, is airing in 59 countries. She's got people tuning in. So she's been extremely successful, and it's been, I just so proud of and amazed at how much she has grown in this business, but how much she's learned, and how I'm excited about talking to her about what she's done with this type of opportunity that others can do themselves. I am also a part of helping to produce a segment called the Sunday Morning Services. My father had in his ministry a broadcast that he did on the local radio stations in addition to the Sunday morning services. Believe it or not, I actually have the equipment to transfer from cassette over to MP4 files. And so every Sunday, there are two time slots that she airs those sermons as a part of her Sunday morning outreach. And I'm really excited and so proud of what she's done and to help be a part of just a little bit of the success with this program and what she's done. Here's my father hat. This is my daughter, Brittany. She is a graduate of the Ann Arbor schools, starting very early in elementary school, where her first performance on stage was in the Secret Garden. And she moved all the way through elementary, middle school, and high school performing. And one of her mentors here, BJ, was just tremendous. And the personnel who were a part of her career and the amazing work that she was able to do. Jeff Willits, who was the music and theater director for the elementary school that did all these amazing productions. But when we get to high school, we got Doc Ingram, and also the teachers who helped mold this amazing talent. And I'm so excited about what they were able to accomplish with helping her prepare for this career that she has now, being on Broadway and doing regional theater. And she's currently in the national Beetlejuice tour that is occurring across the country. So these individuals that were part of establishing and helping her mold her career, we thank them, Phyllis and I, so much for what they've done, as well as with my son, Alex. My niece, Brandy Bonner. This is my sister, Dorla, Minister Dorla Bonner. She is very active with a group called Worship School of Reform. They travel all over the country, and all of these different things that they do on college campuses, as well as various productions that they do around the country, has just been great to not only see and be a part of, but also to hear her story and traveling with them. So I'm looking forward to interviewing the leader of that group, as well as get her perspective of what it's been like to be on that program. My nephew, Christopher Coleman. We've done a show with him talking about his amazing music career. He is the drummer for the 21 release of the Prince double album called Welcome to America. He and Tia, the bass player, were invited by Prince to perform with them there at Paisley Park. And they, after talking with him when they did this back in 2010, they weren't sure if this was ever going to come out because their schedules, there was never a time that their schedules all were able to mesh for the three of them to be on stage together. But this project that they did was completed and mastered, which is what came out in 21. And so Chris has had the opportunity, after winning the International Guitar Center Drum Off, to play with some of the most incredible artists all over the world. He is sponsored by Sonar Drums, and in his travels, he gets an opportunity to play not only with these great artists, but do a master drum series that he does workshops, and works with other individuals with talking about their products as well as sharing his area of expertise. He also teaches at Drummers Collective there in New York, but he's also such an amazing, down to earth person. And my twin brother Ron and his wife Lottie, both of their children have been very successful. My niece Christy is also a performer. We saw her in the last production she was in. She played the role of Mahalia Jackson. And so this is something that we have been excited not only about what she has been able to accomplish as a singer, but we also participated in this Christmas production with her and there in Kalamazoo, Michigan, actually at Decatur, there at the home church. So we're excited about what they have been able to accomplish and make sure we can still share all of the amazing things that are going on. My brother Hurley, this is a great CD project. Send Your Word. He has been an amazing singer, gospel singer. Our paths crossed years ago when he was in a show band and I was in a show band. So we all had this music foundation that we worked on and were exposed to. But with Hurley, he is the pastor of the home church, and he is at the World Outreach Campus there in Saginaw. And his children, Dr. Natoya, TJ, his son, and Tasha were very instrumental in helping not only with this production, but performing and singing background with him, as well as with helping with the production. So it was a family affair. And he has also been nominated for Gospel Artist of the Year there in Texas. And those awards will be announced sometime here in 23. So I'm looking forward to not only the success that he's had, but also to share in the excitement of what he's been able to accomplish, and as well as great, great music and ministering there in hometown of Saginaw. So I'm sharing with you a lot here, just coming from the heart, because being a part of a big family and growing up as a PK, a pastor's son, my oldest brother Charles and his wife Beth there in Saginaw, he's also pastoring a church. My brother Hurley, who's the pastoring of the World Outreach Campus, my sister Yvonne and her children, my sister Myra, and my twin brother Ron, also Dorla, who is a younger sister, Evelyn, and Edna. Those are nine, my siblings. It's tough when you grow up with a big family. You don't remember all the birthdays all the time. You have to make sure you put them on a calendar. But we've been blessed to not only continue to share things that are important for us, but as with every big family, there are all kinds of things that happen, and we all have to always work hard to keep the lines of communication open and to share with each other, because you're going to have good times and bad times, and that's life. And we've been blessed to be able to go this far, and we have a long way to go. But it's something important that we have shared together, but as well as being nurtured by our parents, who really brought us together and encourage us to give something back. And this is something that, as I share with you our foundation, this is Dr. Hurley J. Sr. and Dr. Martha Coleman. They were the patriarch of the Coleman family. And with us, we were called the Big Ten, since there was 10 of us. We had an older sister who passed at birth. But the 10 of us remaining really focused on not only helping in the church, but as we all went through college and now with our own families, bridging that gap of what can we make sure that we encourage our own children as they were exposed to giving something back and hearing that from their grandfather, but also we nurture that process. And that's something that for all of us that we've done our best to do that and continue to do that today. But I also want to give honor to my oldest sister, who passed not long after mom and dad of a brief illness, Herlette Coleman. She was the principal of Heaven Ridge Elementary there in Saginaw. And she also was just a musical giant. She not only directed the choirs, but also worked with the gospel workshops there in Saginaw and provided just tremendous opportunities for other musicians to come in to be a part of the things that were being exposed to there in the community. And I honor her performing for her. This photograph is one of the last performances that we did for her at her school before she became ill. And I love her dearly, and as we all miss her dearly. But whenever she called me and wanted me to come speak at her school or do a performance, I was always there for her. It was just something so important to do to not only help the students and the children that she was working with, but to also bring the messages that we've been able to do through music and the things that we have been exposed to help nurture others. So we honor her and we honor my parents as well with what they provided for us and a foundation. And in closing, I want to give honor to someone very special to me, my wife Phyllis. She has been by my side for 38 years plus. And it has been just a joy not only to raise our two children, Brittany and Alex, but also having a partner, someone that you can share with and be grounded. And also from the creative side, to have that second opinion. I always enjoyed sharing with her and asking for her opinion because she will always be honest. And that for me has been really important for her to share what she is seeing because we're partners. And we're going to be sharing a number of things. And hopefully she will come on with me at some point to talk about this role of parenting and what we've been able to be successful at, but also the challenges. Being in a biracial relationship is not always easy, and the things that we've been able to do for our children, as well as to make sure that we are consistent, and that we've been really focusing on doing. So as we prepare for 2023, we welcome your input. We look forward to sharing some of these great resources that we're going to be bringing forward, in addition to just a number of things that I didn't list, but we're going to be finding them to make sure that we provide resources here at the local level. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Rich Coleman. I'm the host for the Prevention Corner. Be well.